Good afternoon. It's a Sunday afternoon. The crops are planted. The corn is side dressed. Things are good. It's a beautiful sunny day. It could rain maybe tomorrow. We'll be fine. Uh-oh. Hold on. Anyway, as we were saying, everything is in really good shape right now. Dad is finishing the last of the soybean pre-emerge herbicide right now. So we're going to go through, I'm going to talk about where we're at with the crops and what's done, what needs to be done, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll get to what we're actually doing today. So corn. Corn is all planted. We started on the 22nd of April, and I can't remember what day it was that we finished up. I think it was a Wednesday, almost 3 weeks ago now, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while that we have been done planting corn. It's all up. It all looks good. We aren't going to have any replant. We have also side dressed all the corn. So all of our nitrogen is on. All of the anhydrous, we finished that yesterday. And for the most part, everything looks good. We have corn ranging from this big, just coming out of the ground, that last stuff that we planted that all looks pretty good and is there. We've got some taller stuff that's, 5-6 inches tall. And some of it looks really good. Some of it's a little thin and spotty. Some of it's a little uneven. We've got some up and down. We've got some yellow spots here and there. And then we have some of the most gorgeous corn that we've ever had for the 5th of June, and looks just absolutely fantastic. And in my opinion, is quite possibly one of the best fields of corn in the entire state of Michigan right now. So overall, we're sitting in really good shape on the corn. Dad has all of the pre-emerge corn herbicide sprayed, which we use Acuron. It is a premium product. It's expensive, but it works really well. And very rarely do we have to go in with a second pass on corn. If we do, it's just some Roundup, usually just around the edges of the fields to clean up a little bit of those weed escapes on the edges, grasses, that kind of stuff. So for the most part, the corn herbicide application is also done. We got my little monkey behind here, crawling all over our tender trailer. Soybeans are all planted as well, finally. Phil finished planting the soybeans last night, so they are done. I don't remember what day it was that we started, somewhere back around the 26th, 27th of April, and it took a while. The corn stalks from last fall took a long time to dry out. They stayed wet, and it was a struggle to get the beans planted, but we've got them done. So, they're not all out of the ground yet. The early ones all look okay and are good. But some of these ones that have been planted in the last 2 weeks are still coming, still struggling a little bit in some cases. I can't rule out replant on soybeans yet. I hope not, but I can't rule it out. Dad right now is finishing the last pass of pre-emerge soybean chemicals. And so that is our first pass. We use a product called Matador, and it does a really good job keeping weeds from growing. But it's not a single pass program. It's not the only one. So 4 weeks after we spray the Matador, we're planning to come back with a product called Sequence, and maybe some clethodim for volunteer corn in the fields where we need to, some Enlist for mare's tail if we need to, but we haven't started that one yet. So the very first beans that we sprayed, I don't remember the date exactly, but June 7th is the day when it's exactly 4 weeks. So that would be this upcoming week, and we'll probably start doing that. But that's going to be a long, drawn-out process because, well, the last of them don't need sprayed until 4 weeks from today. Wheat is our other crop that is kind of that other crop in the spring when we're busy trying to plant corn and beans. But wheat is also been top dressed twice. We put 2 shots of nitrogen on it and some ATS for some sulfur, and it has been a fungicide sprayed on, the either Prosaro or Miravis Ace for head scab fungicide. So that is done. Basically, we are done with the wheat until harvest. The only thing that could possibly happen is if we get some bugs, some armyworms specifically, come in and start eating and chewing on it, that we have to spray some insecticide. It's happened before, but it doesn't happen every year. I'm not planning on that. So wheat is out of our hands at the moment. And our wheat crop looked really crappy a year ago. It's starting to look quite a bit better. It's all headed out, and there are thin spots. It's not going to be great, but where we have a good stand, I think we're going to have really good wheat, and it might bring the average up enough that, well, it was decent. So we will see that here in about a month. 1st of July, it'll probably be the 5th to 10th of July when we're starting wheat harvest, and that's a month from today. So who knows? So what's next? Well, the first thing we have to do is start spraying some corn. I have proven the last 2 years that V5 fungicide, meaning 5-leaf stage corn, which is what we looked at yesterday, if you go back to yesterday's video, pays big time for us. Last year it was 15 to 20 bushel an average, acre average better. The year before it was 10 to 15. It's a very cheap application for us, and so I'm going to spray not all but a lot of my corn with this V5 fungicide application. Now, we did use some fungicide in our starter, that Xyway. We're not going to spray those fields at V5 because those are kind of designed to do the same thing, so we don't need to overlap them. But we've got some that needs to be done, so we're going to work on that here. Actually, as soon as Dad gets back with the sprayer, we're going to get loaded up and ready to go. That's what I'm loading up the tender trailer for, to go up to that irrigated field, and we're going to get that one sprayed. We're probably going to have some more to spray this week, or we'll just see how things are going, but it's not all ready for that right now. We're also going to use some foliar feed products in this application. I've talked about them before, but I've been working with this Ag Explorer company a little bit. I am still testing and trying to prove that these products work. I really want them to. I really want these products to work, but I'm not committed to using them on a huge chunk of acres until they prove themselves to me. So we're trying some stuff this year, different stuff than we tried last year, but I've got some stuff worked out and lined up that I think it looks promising. So we're loading up some of that. We're going to do some of them today. We're going to do some without them today. Try and get some trials and strips and that kind of stuff put in, and we'll see how all of that pays off. As far as next step on soybeans go, well, like I said, we got to start spraying this post-emerge pass, the sequence here, later this week, and then they won't need anything else until we get to some fungicide. Well, we might do some of those foliars on some beans too in a field or two, but the big one is fungicides towards the end of July, first week of August. When they're in that R3 growth stage, we'll need some fungicide on soybeans. So that's the field work that needs to be done. It's almost all spraying now. That's just what we've got to do until wheat harvest starts. We've got some mowing to do with the big John Deere mower, roadsides and lanes and that kind of stuff, and a bunch of equipment to clean up. But for today, it's a Sunday afternoon. We're not doing much. We're just doing a little spraying. And so as soon as Dad gets back, we're going to get the sprayer loaded up and go spray some corn. Oh, careful. You all right? He's going to go fast. Take the cart back. All right, so here's the situation. What we're doing, we're spraying V5 fungicide and some foliar feeds. So the star of the show is Quadris. It's this single box right here. We put a rate of 6 ounces per acre on, and that is not a generic. It's branded, but it's a single mode of action fungicide. It is an oxystrobin, strobilurin fungicide. It is preventative, basically. It is not going to cure any disease or stop anything that's already out there, but it will prevent infections from getting into the plant to start with. Given that it's V5, it's very early, I don't think we have much out there. I think we need to prevent stuff from coming into it. Some of those fungicides from our seed treatment have helped prevent any disease from getting into the plant. So that's why I use Quadris, because it's cheap and it works. That's what I've been getting 15 bushel an acre gains with, 6 ounces of Quadris. Okay, so the rest of this stuff is all our foliar feed. Yeah. Does it work? Does it not? I don't know. That's why we buy it in jugs and not totes, because clearly that stuff right there is enough to do 80 acres. That's it. And so it's a high-use stuff, quart to a pint to a quart to, some of it is 2 quarts to the acre. So it takes a lot to do it. Yeah. So anyway, we have this product called Octane. Octane. It is foo-foo juice of 100, which means it is 1% nitrogen. This has got sugar in it. It is 26% sugar. It is to feed the microbes and to make stuff happen. The idea behind this is that it stimulates all of the microbes and the bacteria and the stuff in your soil to help them release the nutrients that are already there. It's not so much to help the plants as it is to help everything else that's already in the soil. That's my understanding of it. I'm skeptical, but we're going to try some, because I told them I would do their program and try it on some acres and give it a fair shot. So next one we have Inferno. Again, this one I actually had bought to put in the starter with one of my starter blends, and I forgot. And so we're going to use it now. Again, 100, it is 1% nitrogen, but this one contains humic acid and fulvic acid, which are PGRs, plant growth regulators. And so, yeah, we'll see what this does as well, but it helps. There's been a lot of studies with humics and fulvics and stuff that helps plants and everything. So probably would have been better in the starter. We're going to apply this at a quart to the acre foliarly, and it should help. They did say it would help with any burn that our plants may get from any of the other fertilizer stuff, which we'll talk about in a second. All right, there's one more product here. Let me find a box. Here we go. This one, XR5 Sulfur 800. It is 8% nitrogen and 17% sulfur. So sulfur has become a very critical nutrient for our plants, but specifically for our corn. And if you'll remember yesterday when we were looking at that field of really, really good looking corn, I said, it kind of looks like a little sulfur streaking in deficiency here. Well, this is going to solve that. At least that's the idea. So sulfur needs to be on with nitrogen. I put a lot of sulfur in my starter because I can't put it on with my anhydrous. And so we're going to try some of this and see if it helps out a little bit. Early vegetative, 1 to 2 pint. We're going to put just a pint on per acre of the XR5 sulfur. Now, the field that we're going to requires 2 sprayer loads. It's far enough away I decided to use the tender trailer. Here's the thing, though. So this tender trailer, the last time we used it was to haul starter to Berkey when I was planting corn down there. And if you'll remember, I was using the starter blend that had that black label zinc in it, that really dark black stuff. So it was basically, the blend was 5 gallons of ATS, ammonium thiosulfate, 5 gallons of 1034O, and then a gallon of black label zinc. Well, I couldn't quite suck it all out of these tanks. So in both of these, there was maybe 30 to 50 gallons of starter left in there. So you're talking 15 to 20 gallons of the ATS and the 1034O, and then a little bit of the black label zinc. So I'm kind of concerned about that. Well, 2 things. One, well, we get a little free extra nutrients in our foliar feed pass here, right? That black label stuff is good to have in there, and the ATS should help get a little more sulfur, and we've got some 1034O that's got a little phosphorus in it. I don't know if it'll do much good, but it's in there, so that'll be good. The thing I'm worried about is it burning the corn. That ATS, if you spray it on the leaves, can burn the corn, so we're trying to dilute it as much as possible here. And so I really was only going to put 1,200 gallons in each tank, but I thought, why don't I just fill them up and then we'll fill the sprayer out here. It'll help dilute it a little bit more, and hopefully that'll solve the issue. And then that Inferno that's over there in those boxes, they tell me will also help prevent burn from fertilizer and stuff. Specifically in wheat, they talk about 28 burn when you're spraying your wheat, but we're gonna try it on this. So anyway, that's what we got. Loading the sprayer, we finally got all the stuff in. When you got to put 50 gallons in jugs or more, almost 55 gallons in jugs, it takes a while. So we're finishing filling up the sprayer with water. We need 1,200 gallons. Pulling out of there will be about right. We may have to top this tank off just a little bit, but should be good to go then. Oh, we do have to switch nozzles. We got the wrong nozzles on, so we'll have to unfold the boom and do that before we go. See if I can remember how to run a sprayer. It's been a while. I'm sure we'll figure it out. I haven't switched nozzles yet. I decided it would be easier once I got to the field to unfold the boom because we have too much stuff in the driveway. Oh, it looks good. Looks real good. Hopefully we make it look better in a few days. So we have these 5-way nozzle bodies on this sprayer, and Dad's been using the red nozzles, AI Tips, for his pre-emerge herbicide pass. They are a lower volume, smaller nozzles, so you yeah, because he's only running 10 gallons to the acre doing his pre-emerge stuff. We're running 15 gallons to the acre, and I like to go fast. Like, I want to be running 15, 16 mile an hour across this field if we can keep it on the rows. So we're actually skipping the brown nozzles and going to the grays, which they're blue caps, but they're gray nozzles. And they're just a bigger one that should allow us, some of them are blue caps, some of them are brown caps, but the nozzle is what's important. Should allow us to run faster and still maintain the proper pressures instead of pushing our pressure too high. When I was running the brown nozzles last year, a lot of times our pressure was getting up to 70, 80 psi, and well, that's too much. Okay, change of plans. Gosh dang it, this is frustrating. So we've got these grays on here that I was going to use, and then I got to about right there, that way, and there's no longer gray nozzles on here. But we have these brown twin jets, and then I'm like, oh yeah, we need twin jets for fungicide, not single jet nozzles or floods or whatever you want to call them. And so I don't have the right nozzles. So Dad's gonna come get me, or we're gonna figure something out, and we got to get some different ones. We've got them, they're just not on here, and I don't understand. This is what frustrates the heck out of me, is that we don't have all the same stuff on all of these, and they're not all in the same order. Like, why wouldn't we have all the same on all of them? I don't understand. Oh, changed it again. Dad got here and we were looking at stuff, and he had some twin jet red nozzles on there for fungicide on the wheat that he used. The reds are smaller than the browns, which means they'll work, but we have to go slow. It's gonna take a while. I went all the way around the outside of this field, and we're already up to 37 acres. Just the blue going all the way around the outside mostly in this one pass. Crazy. Crazy. Anyway, now I can use the auto steer and I can actually film something. I turned off the one section because it's one of our irrigation lanes, and I don't want to spray our irrigation lanes. That's pointless. Oh, it's so nice. Look at this corn. Man, it looks good. So we're not running that slow. We are cruising right along at 13 miles an hour, running 55, 54, 55 PSI. That's about right. The grays probably would be too big in nozzles. I think I used those when I was spraying Liberty last year, which is a 20 gallon per acre application rate, so even more gallons. So I think that's what them are from. But yeah, this is all going pretty well here. Dad's up here like I showed you, but with the tender over there by that barn, so that we can load up again when we're empty. We're down to a little under 400 gallons on the tank, and yeah, just gotta go. We're empty. Says we sprayed 82 acres there. Close enough. Well, Dad rode with me that round. We're done with this field. Says we did about 156 acres. I didn't get it all, which I didn't plan to, but we're just about empty. We're gonna reload. One more load with just the quadrants, no more of the box foliar stuff, and go find some more corn to spray. Okay, so we are spraying this field. This corn looks pretty good. Not bad, not bad. This is a chicken litter field that we had actually side dressed earlier because I kind of forgot, and so we put a full rate on here. Anyway, this was one of the earlier planted fields. It's the one where we got stuck with the 8RX right over there. Yeah. Anyway, the corn looks pretty good. And so we're gonna put a little fungicide on here. I am not putting any of the foliar feeds on. We're straight quadress fungicide. So we'll see if that makes much of a difference. You know, yeah, I don't know. Those foliars are good, but how much of a difference does it really make? I don't know. So we're gonna do this field, and then we'll still have some in the tank, so we're gonna have to spray it out. A couple other fields probably. That's gonna be all we're gonna do for today, and then we'll try and pick up some more tomorrow if it's not raining. Assuming we get some more rain and things stay, you know, the way that they are and warm and everything, this corn is gonna just absolutely take off. It will double in size basically every week from now until it tassels the first week of July. I'm assuming this corn's gonna tassel early July because it was planted early, it's growing. Dad's already claiming knee-high by June 4th. See the picture. And it looks really good. So it's just, we're entering that rapid growth stage where it just grows so fast you can barely keep up with it. So this field is cut on one side by the river and happens to be triangular shaped right there. So it's a very nice field to have section control. So if you watch, as we come up to the end, the sections start shutting off on their own. And then we make our turn, which is very difficult to do with one hand filming, but I'll do my best. 3 planter passes. This one's 2 and 3. Right here's our rows. Hit our auto steer, turn it on, and then watch the blue triangles start showing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're all on. Pretty cool. So this sprayer has 7 sections on the boom that shut off individually, and they're not all equal as far as how much they are. They're kind of the boom sections and how it folds. The new fancy sprayers actually have individual nozzle control where every single nozzle will shut off on its own as it overlaps. Very cool. Well, I was just getting on to this next field. We're going to talk about the fact that this corn is smaller in a minute, but I think I broke something. my boom came flying around like it's not supposed to, and I don't think I hit anything, but I shouldn't be able to move this, and it's supposed to be back here somewhere. Let's go see what things look like in the center. Something's not right. Yeah. Well, that's gonna be a problem. Strip the threads out of the cylinder. Crap. Huh. What are we gonna do about that? I was just going along these trees, but I stayed in my rows, and my rows curved out away from them, so I was just checking, make sure I don't have any scuff marks on a tree somewhere, and I don't. I didn't hit the trees. I promise, I did not. Bummer. Well, I tried driving it up, but it didn't work. As soon as I started going downhill, that arm just wanted to come forward because there's nothing holding it. So we're gonna have to try and ratchet strap or get a come-along cable or something on there to hold this so it doesn't pivot around forward, but we got to get the cylinder at least lined up, otherwise it'll just come around back too far. So Dad's bringing some stuff. Hopefully we can at least spray out what we got. I don't know, but we got to fix this end, and the threads are stripped out inside there, so I don't know, it's not just gonna thread back in there nice and easy, and we might, I don't know, could weld that on there. I suppose you could try and thread repair somehow, or you just put a whole new cylinder on. We will see what Dad says. Current situation, not good. Dad's got to hold the boom so we can drive, just trying to get up to the road so we can fix it easier. Well, we managed to get it up to the road. Our strap did not work, did not hold it from going forward, so Dad had to kind of hold it there. We gotta get our some wrenches and get that cylinder off, and then look up some parts and see what we can get. If we can get a ram, we'll probably take it apart and do that. If we got to buy the whole cylinder, we'll buy the whole cylinder. Depends on the cost differences and stuff, but I'm guessing it's somewhere between $500 to $1,000 cylinder. If a ram costs 2/3 of that and the eye bolt, you might as well just buy the whole new cylinder, right? Plus you better put seals in it if you're going to take it apart. So yeah, we'll go look it up and see. All right, well, I got the nut off of this one, but the bolt is bent and it won't come out. See it wiggle? Not good. So we're probably going to end up cutting that one, which means we need a new bolt. This one is bigger. I didn't bring out big enough socket for that. That one was 1.5 inches. I think this is a 2-inch that we need. So we got to go back up and get that, and maybe a cheater pipe, because I did get an adjustable wrench on it, but yeah, not big enough. And there is a part number on this cylinder, so I can look it up. Look at that. We even got the nut off. We lost a socket in the process. But yeah, Dad went to get a hammer and a punch. He got the hydraulic hoses off, and we should be able to pull this off of here. All right, well, I got that nut off, but the bolt won't come out. We're gonna have to heat it up, do something different. We'll try it in the morning. It's quitting time. It's almost 7 on a Sunday night. I'm not working on that. That's what we get for working on Sundays, right? Ah, well. That cylinder, it appears, has already been fixed once. Just compared it to the other side, it's already been, the threads have been shortened and cutting off, like it's stripped out once, and Dad cut them off and threaded it in farther, and now it's stripped out again. So it's time for a new cylinder, or at least a new ram and a new eye bolt, but I don't think you can buy just the ram. And even if you could, sourcing the parts, it's going to be difficult. I'm just hoping we can get a cylinder tomorrow. So we're going to look into that, look at the parts breakdown a little bit more, and we'll worry about it tomorrow. So I'm gonna get the boys and we're going home. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Hit that like and subscribe button. Questions, comments, leave them down below. It might rain tonight. I might not care. Every rain we get from now on, provided it's less than 3 inches, is good for us. So let it rain.